broke through the sandcastle. Cheese and crackers is now watermelon. Peanut butter and jelly. Pretzels and acorns is cheeks. Orange slices. Eat the oranges. French fries. Popsicle. Something's wrong. Oh no. My apron. Oh no. Uh-oh. He does a cute little dance. What's happening? A big wave. Look out. Oh no. Riding the waves. Whoa. Hi everyone. With summer just around the corner, we are excited to release a new edition of one of our favorite activities. Introducing the interactive game Chompin Chipmunk at the Beach, illustrated and created by GoGo Speech. This activity is similar in structure to the original Chompin Chipmunk, so it's going to elicit a ton of language from your kids. We are going to pull out a bunch of different tasty food items and we're going to feed it to the sneaky chipmunk at the beach. And every time he eats another food item, his cheeks get bigger and bigger. So we're going to see what happens when his cheeks get a little too big toward the end. This is a one resource activity, and just like our other activities, you'll be able to adjust the way that you play this based on the goals that you're working on. This is going to be a really great activity for working on prepositions because we are going to see the chipmunk move all around the screen behind us. It's really great for making sentences, inferencing and predicting, social pragmatic skills, answering WH questions, core words, speech sounds, describing scenes, describing foods, and so much more. We are going to start out with some magic doors, and you can see if your kids can guess what the activity is about based on what they look like. Open. We're at the beach. So now you can say, oh, I know what we're doing today. We're going on a picnic at the beach. We have our basket, we have a blanket to sit on or a towel, an umbrella for some shade, and a pail and shovel to play in the sand. We are all ready for the picnic, but this isn't just going to be any old picnic. We are at a special beach today. And I heard that there's a little chipmunk here that might come out to play if we're really nice to him. So I brought some foods that I thought he might really like, and they're in the basket. Now I heard he's super quick and kind of shy, so we have to work really hard to try to get him to come out and play with us. Do you think it's gonna work? All right, we're gonna try. So we're gonna go on over there closer to the water and we're gonna set up our picnic. All right, we're all set up. Now, what do we have to do? Do you see the chipmunk anywhere? I don't either. Okay, open the basket. Open. If you're using a green screen, you can use some extra green fabric to reach behind so that it looks like you're reaching into the basket. I actually just reached behind the back of my chair since my chair is covered with the green fabric. So that's another easy method you could use. But you can also just pretend to reach into the basket if you don't have that extra green material. Reach in, pull it up. Cheese and crackers and acorns. Hey, the chipmunk came out. I bet he wants that food. So with each food item that you pull out of the basket, you can talk about what it tastes like, smells like, feels like, what parts it has. Is it sweet? Is it salty? Cheesy? Is it smooth or rough? Soft or chewy? Is it warm or cold? You can use a visual to help describe these food items. So I have this describing foods visual in the activity shop and in the GoGo member digital library, which you can hold up and use during your activity. So the category, when you might eat it, how does it feel, how does it taste, and so on. And you can tell your kids that I think that whenever we talk about the food, it's going to make the chipmunk even hungrier. So maybe the chipmunk will come closer every time we think of a new thing to say about the food. So every time the child helps provide some details about the food, the chipmunk is going to come a little bit closer and he's going to move around the screen a little bit. This is an appetizer or a snack. The chipmunk got closer. I wonder what else we can say. Crackers are crunchy. All right, we need to think of one more thing to say about the food, and then maybe he'll open his mouth so we can feed him. Circles, squares. He opened his mouth. All right, now we get to feed him. Grab the food and throw it in his mouth. He ate it. Uh-oh, where'd he go? He's hiding under the blanket. Silly chipmunk. We better get some more food for him so he comes back out. Let's see if there's anything else in the basket. Let's see. Reach in. I feel something. It's wet. Watermelon slices and acorns. So if you're working on speech sounds, you can say target words a certain number of times to try to get the chipmunk to come closer to the basket so we can feed him, or you can make sentences about the food items that include your sounds each time you pull food out. So maybe something like, it's a fresh plate of watermelon, or we found some watermelon. And you can use that verbal routine with each food item and get lots of trials in. You can name the chipmunk a name that includes the child's target speech sounds. I know a lot of people like to refer to the chipmunk as Chippy to get a lot of practice with that CH sound. So you can also just use this as a motivational game if you want. So you can pull out a new food item and make him move closer each time you complete some tasks. Another thing you can do is you can keep a big spoon and a fork with you during your session so that the child can tell you if they think you should feed the chipmunk with the fork or the spoon and work on those sounds as well. They have seeds. Toss it in. Where did he go? You're keeping an eye on him, right? He's in the umbrella. Let's reach in to get more food. Pull it up. Peanut butter and jelly sandwich. He came closer. He's behind the umbrella pole. Remember that when we talk about the food, it makes him really hungry, so he comes closer. Peanut butter feels really sticky and creamy. What else can we say about it? You can eat it for lunch. Give it to the chipmunk. Here's your sandwich. Where'd he go? He is so quick. He's under the red bucket. All right, let's reach back in. What do we have in there? I feel something. So another idea you can do is describe what you feel before you pull it out to see if the child can guess some foods that fit the description. Let's see. Pretzels and acorns, but where's the chipmunk? Behind the basket. He's so close to me. Pretzels are crunchy. He's so close. And wait a second. His cheeks, they're getting really big. What does he have in there? I hope his cheeks don't get too big. Pretzels taste salty. Grab the spoon, scoop the pretzels, and toss them in. He's in the water, swimming. Pull it up. Orange slices. How do you get up here so fast? He is really quick. So again, you can describe the food item more and more, or say target words, whatever they're working on to try to get the chipmunk to come closer. Standing on the basket, it's a type of fruit. Eat the oranges. In the sky, I'm gonna reach in again and use whatever language you want your kids to say every time you pull up the food. French fries with acorns. I like to eat mine with ketchup. Now your child might use more language to describe it or say target words, and the chipmunk's gonna open his mouth, feed it to the chipmunk, and you're just gonna throw it up to his mouth. Uh-oh, I can't find him. A sandcastle? That's really cool. He built that so fast. Let's see if there's any more food in there. What could it be? A green popsicle. The chipmunk broke through the sandcastle. He wanted to see what food we had. A popsicle is really cold. Uh-oh, his cheeks are getting a little too big. What else can we say? The popsicle has a stick. He's opening his mouth. Let's feed it to him. Here you go. He's so happy. He probably likes us so much because we gave him so much yummy food. Oh no, something's wrong. Oh no, how did he get so many acorns in his mouth? Oh no. Uh-oh. So if you're using green screen and you have extra green fabric, you can use that to cover yourself up for this. So you're gonna be stuck in a huge pile of acorns. How am I gonna get out of here, guys? Then you're gonna have the chipmunk pop his head out of the acorns, and you're gonna see that he's back to normal since he spit all of the acorns out of his mouth. And he thinks it's so funny that I'm stuck in a pile of acorns, so he does a cute little dance. And you can do this by going back and forth between these two slides with the arrow keys. And he's going to dance until we say the magic words or the magic sentence to get me out. So you might have your kids say something like, let's get Miss Abby out of the acorns, just like we did in the original Chompin' Chipmunk. But there is a new surprise that will happen in this one. What's happening? A big wave? Look out! Oh no! It's washing away all the acorns. Acorns are floating. Whoa. What do you see? Whoa, the chipmunk is surfing. He's riding the waves. Whoa. So you can move back and forth through the surfing slides multiple times to show him riding the waves and having a blast. Whoa. Look at him surfing. He's so good at surfing. Whoa. Then when you continue through the slides, the wave runs out and everything goes back to normal. Whoa. So now you're back to the scene from the beginning of the picnic and you can say, we are all done. I am so glad we got the chipmunk to come out, but I can't believe he spit out all of those acorns. Or you can start over by going back to the slide in the beginning and pulling out all the food items again. So if you want to use a silly variation of the game, you can make the chipmunk give all the food items back. So from here where he eats the popsicle, we might say, give it back, chipmunk. And he gives it back to us. And then we're going to put it in the basket. Give it back. Put it in the basket. and so on. If you're a GoGo member, you will also get access to a printable PDF that goes along with this activity. So you'll have a printout of each of the food items that we pull out of the basket. You'll also have a printout of the chipmunk so that you can cut a hole out for the mouth and you can feed the chipmunk each time we feed it in the game. So you can keep that play going even after the activity is completed. This printable PDF can be used in person, or you can email it over to your parents so it can be used during your virtual sessions. I hope you all have so much fun with this one and get tons of language in your sessions. We received some really awesome feedback from the first Chompin chipmunk, so we really hope your kids love this one too. Make sure you're following GoGo Speech on Instagram and Facebook, and subscribe to our YouTube channel to stay up to date on our latest releases. I'll see you all next time. Bye!